event in the spring. But this weekend, many churches will celebrate Reformation Sunday. Dr. Ray Van Ness directs the Ryan Center at Union University, and he's going to tell us more about the observances. So thank you so much for being here, Dr. Van Ness.
Glad to be here.
Now, first of all, can you tell us, for people who might not have studied the history of this era, what's the significance of the Protestant Reformation and what did it mean for Christianity?
Yes, I'd argue that the Reformation is the greatest revival in the history of the church after Pentecost. In the Middle Ages, the church had come to a really bad spot. Corruption was rife, moral and spiritual corruption, and in many respects, the gospel had been lost. So when Martin Luther comes in and nails his 95 Theses, which is in 1517, that's when we have the anniversary, and begins to question these things, we see the gospel recovered, and therefore preaching is revived, and new birth comes in the church.
Now, a lot of churches will be observing Reformation Sunday this weekend. How do churches normally celebrate that?
It varies widely across a lot of denominations. Some people may not think that their denomination does this, and they may not, but many, many do. Some will think primarily of the Lutheran churches and the Presbyterian churches, but there will be similar things going on in Baptist churches and many others, oftentimes by singing A Mighty Fortress or other things related to the themes of the Reformation and preaching on those topics.
Now, how does the Reformation relate to the modern church in your view?
The Reformation has shaped the world as we know it, particularly in the West, in many ways. That's one thing our conference will deal with. But for the church, if people appreciate having a Bible in their own language, they should appreciate the Reformation, because that's where that came from. Pastors having wives, that's a result of the Reformation. A call to believe in Jesus and in Him alone for salvation, that salvation is by grace through faith and not works. That is recovered at the Reformation as well.
Now, you mentioned the conference that Union University will be hosting in March. Can you give us a thumbnail of what's going to happen at that conference?
Sure, and there's so much going on, it might be a poem rather than a thumbnail. But the event itself, the portion that people pay for, is March 9 to 11. And in that, we'll have plenary lectures by a number of established scholars, and then lectures from our own faculty. We'll have a concert by our music department, where we'll debut a new song by Dr. Musselman. He'll be playing off what Bach did in the past with some of Luther's songs. He'll do that with one of the Getty's hymns. We'll have a play on Martin Luther and his wife Katie by a drama troupe called Peculiar People. And then we'll have a film showing. Before that, and around it, other things which don't cost. On the Thursday afternoon, we'll have a concert by Solace, the group, many of whom are here, led by Cody Curtis, their album covering Romans. We'll have a day of preaching on Wednesday, preaching on the 5 main themes of the Reformation. And on the Monday and Tuesday before that, and the Monday and Tuesday after, so that's March 6 and 7, March 13, 14, we'll have a scripture reading marathon where from 7 in the morning till about midnight, each of those days, we'll have reading straight through the scriptures, and various people can sign up to be a part of that.
Now, you've got a lot of events packed into this conference. There's also a website that details some of the events for Ref 500. How can viewers access that?
Yes. If they search Ref 500, they'll find it. You can go to the exact website at uu.edu/events/REF500.
All right. Thank you so much for being here today.